All right, so you know Barbara Corcoran, right? The Shark Tank star.
Yeah, she's great.
Well, we're diving into her world today. This Diary of a CEO interview you sent over is
Right.
amazing. She really doesn't hold back.
What I find super interesting about her is that she built her empire not on some fancy MBA, but on, like, pure grit and people skills.
Yeah, that comes through so strongly.
She even says that, like, all those jobs she had before starting her own business, all 22 of them were, like, the ultimate training ground.
Both two jobs. Seriously, I'm getting tired just thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's a serious resume.
Right. That's like a master class in resilience right there.
Definitely. You see that thread throughout her whole journey, for sure.
Yeah. And like growing up with 9 siblings, she talks about having to fight for attention, figure out how to stand out.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like it wasn't just a family, it was her first boardroom, you know?
Totally. But can we talk about her dad for a sec? That interview, it hints that their relationship was complicated.
It's really interesting, yeah. Her father, like, deeply distrusted authority.
Which, I mean, isn't surprising when 9 out of his 10 kids become entrepreneurs, right?
Right. But like his struggles with alcohol, you can see how that kind of instilled this need for control in Corcoran and like a deep insecurity too.
It's like this push and pull shaping her drive from, like, day one.
Absolutely. So we've got this ambitious woman, right, who's seen it all, but then, and this is a big but, she's also dyslexic.
Right, and that's where it gets interesting.
Instead of holding her back, though, it's like these perceived weaknesses just fueled her fire even more.
Oh, yeah, and that story she tells about her third-grade teacher. Brutal.
Right. Talk about a defining moment. You'll be stupid if you don't learn to read. Man,
I felt that.
it's like, bam, that just lit a fire under her.
Totally.
She wanted to prove everyone wrong, and not just succeed, but like blow past expectations, you know, especially those who doubted her.
It's like they accidentally gave her the key to her success or something.
Exactly. She even says that without those challenges, she might not be as successful. It makes you think.
It really does. So we've got ambition, resilience, and a whole lot of I'll show you. But then, how does she take that energy and conquer New York real estate?
Well, Corcoran, she wasn't playing the same game as those established real estate guys. She knew she couldn't outspend them.
Right, they had the money, the connections.
So she outsmarted them. She was faster, more agile.
And not afraid to break a few rules, it sounds like.
Oh, absolutely not. She was not afraid to generate buzz. But it wasn't just for show. Corcoran knew that in real estate, building the right company culture, well, that's everything.
That's interesting. So what was so different? Was it all like themed parties and shopping sprees, which honestly sounds kind of fun?
Well, the fun was definitely a part of it, don't get me wrong. But what set Corcoran apart was how much she cared about her people.
Yeah, she talks about that a
That
lot.
was like a family, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something you don't see a lot in that industry, even now.
And that's where her whole people-first approach really comes in, right?
100%. Remember that story she tells about 100%. Remember that story she tells about surprising her entire team with a trip to St. Martin?
Oh, yeah. Because they had been working so hard. That's a pretty sweet perk.
Right. Way better than a world's best boss mug. But those gestures, even the little ones, they said a lot about her leadership.
They really did. She knew that happy employees were productive employees.
Especially in real estate, where everyone's always jumping ship. Her approach was like revolutionary.
Totally. It's funny you mentioned that because it made me think about her hustle over heritage thing.
Oh, totally.
She was a nobody in New York real estate, but she still made this huge splash. She talks about how those big firms, they were like dinosaurs next to her.
She was fearless. Remember the story about how she got that major listing?
No, which one?
The one where she pretends to be a reporter.
Get out. No way.
Oh, yeah. She goes to this fancy party, microphone and all, and starts asking about this penthouse, the one every firm in the city wanted.
That is amazing. So she's scoping out the competition and getting the inside scoop.
2 birds, 1 stone. It's classic Corcoran. Using creativity and a little, you know, audacity.
That's incredible. So she's built this empire. She's a force in New York real estate. But then, as we know, things took a turn.
The boyfriend, the business partner, the secretary, what a mess, like a soap opera.
Honestly. And she could have walked away after that.
Oh, for sure.
That kind of betrayal from someone you trust, that could crush anybody. But not Corcoran.
Not even close. She took that anger, that hurt, and used it as fuel. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade.
This is where the Corker Group is born, right?
Exactly. She takes this awful thing and turns it into her biggest success. And I think that's what's so inspiring about her story.
It's not about avoiding the setbacks, because you can't. It's about how you respond to them.
100%. And that leads us to another fascinating part of her journey. Going from real estate mogul to like this investor extraordinaire.
And you can see the through line, right? From building a business to spotting potential in other entrepreneurs.
Totally. And on Shark Tank, it's not always what you'd think. It's not just the product or the business plan.
Right. She always talks about investing in the person.
Exactly. It's that fire in their belly, that drive to succeed no matter what.
Oh, it's like her wall of doom.
Mm.
That's so classic, Corcoran. Tell me you know about the wall of doom.
Oh, I definitely do. It's basically this wall in her office. Oh, I definitely do. It's basically this wall in her office covered in pictures of, well, entrepreneurs,
Okay.
but they're all upside down.
Upside down. So it's like a wall of shame, what they do to get up there.
It's the ones who blamed everyone else for their problems.
Oh, interesting.
The ones who made excuses, who didn't own their mistakes.
Ah, so it's like a reminder to take responsibility.
Exactly. And that's pure Corcoran. She doesn't want to hear excuses. She wants to see action.
It's funny how much her own experiences shape that. Like with her mom, she said if you and your sibling were fighting, didn't matter who started it, you both got in trouble.
Right. No nonsense.
And you can see how that translates to her leadership.
Yeah,
Solve the problem, don't just complain about it.
totally. It's all about results,
Yeah.
you know? And it's not just in business. She even admits she can be kind of difficult at home, too.
Yeah. Like she jokes about being the difficult one in her marriage, which I love.
Right. It's like she's achieved all this success, but she's still human, still
Yeah.
figuring things out.
And that's what's so great about this whole deep dive. It's not just about real estate or investments.
It's about building a life on your own terms, finding the humor, learning from the chaos.
And not being afraid to hustle a little bit.
Exactly. So next time you're facing a challenge, ask yourself, what would Barbara do?
Love that.
Mm.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this. What negative experiences in your own life might actually be your biggest strengths in disguise?